What you're about to see is truly horrifying because there are things Americans believe they know about India, but it all turned out to be flat out lies the moment I came to India for the first time. So today, I'm covering the top 7 biggest lies every American still believes about India. And I rank all of them from still kind of okay to the most terrible ones you don't want to know. And let us begin with the first one. And number 7 is that everyone spits. American media says your mom spits, your dad spits, your 15 uncles and 10 aunties and 8 siblings. They all spit. And there's even a nickname for them. They're called Gutka spitters. Like one of my Indian friends went to travel in Japan, saying how being in Japan is like living in the future. But when he got back, left the airplane, took the right turn, and then an old driver, I kid you not, spat right onto his legs. In that moment, he said to me, bro, he almost regretted ever coming back. Like, there is probably enough spits in the big cities to make another Ganga river. But as soon as I came to India, I noticed, hey, that is not real. Only a I'm saying very small population of people actually spit, bro. And some of my Indian friends also chew gutka, but they also hate those guys who spit in public places and then just throw the plastic wrappers around. So I'm glad to admit that Americans are completely wrong on this one. And a lot of the time, it's not really spit. Like, one of my friends in Delhi would literally be walking, all fine and having fun, and then suddenly turn around to vomit out a whole cup worth of spit and water. And I just paused, bro. Where did that stuff even come from? That has to be magic at this point. But if magic can make Americans stop lying about India on the internet, then I would do that in a beat. Maybe even faster than you can hit the sub button, bro. Cause American lie number 6 is that India is dirty and nobody cares about the public property. Let me give you a few examples. Let's say inside the typical airport and there's carpet on the floor and then trash bins everywhere. Well, some people would throw the trash onto the carpet when they're done eating. Even if the bin is only like 10 meters away. I have seen people tossing bottles out of their car window, and one of them almost hit me in the face. But why do I call this a lie? Well, because I have seen it with my eyes. Some of the cleanest and most organized cities are all located inside India. Go look up a city in Jharkhand called Jamshedpur, one of the cleanest cities in India. I spent almost a week there, and I didn't even see a single trash. Compared to America, where you will have this, and hey, don't forget about those. This is California, man. One of the most expensive states in America. Why does it look like Pakistan? No offense to Pakistan, I also have friends there. But who is the dirty one? Is it India or is it the United States of Trash America? And listen, I'm not saying that everything is perfect in India, and there's absolutely no room for improvement. But I'm saying with so many great things about India that you can talk about, Americans somehow grab onto the one negative thing and they just broadcast it over and over, trying to convince every nation to hate India. Like, what is the point of that? But it will not be as horrible as the next American lie, and that is that everyone will stare at you in India, even when y'all completely left their side, even in the big cities. Like, I have friends traveling in India. They took a 5-hour train ride, and they said the entire cabin full of people literally stare at them straight into the eyes for 5 hours without even getting tired of it. But as I said, this doesn't apply to every single city and corner of India. Bro, so many places ain't like that. When I visited mountain towns and villages, the kids would stare at me out of curiosity. They would say I look like an anime character, I don't know. But their parents would tell them it was impolite to stare at people non-stop. Also, I noticed a lot of time it's not really an impolite stare, as if they're looking at a weird exotic animal. Like, maybe they just want to be friends, maybe they just want to talk. Some of my best Indian friends, bro, they also stare right at me when they first saw me. They're just curious about you, bro. But the next law is what I cannot forgive America for damaging the image of India, because they kept on telling us how most Indians use fake documents for everything. And that includes birth certificates, university degrees, and the stuff you listed on your resume. So I have Indian friends looking for work in the US and Canada, and they have those degree verification services only for Indians, bro. If you have a degree from India, it has to come directly from the university, because they said many Indian students would try to fake the scores as much as possible. And one of my other Indian friends could not marry her non-Indian partner because they told her that, well, 80% of Indians are using fake documents. But I know your pain, bro. There is some dishonesty surrounding India, like political stuff. But most people, including my Indian friend, are the most honest and down to earth. And I don't think it's fair to discriminate against India when only a small percentage are causing problems. I think one of my Indian friends puts it best, and he says Indians don't have the easiest like everything, especially if you take into account what happened in the past. So it's a bit common to try and take advantage here and there. But I don't think dishonest is a word I would ever use to describe the people of India. But the most dishonest and lying bunch will always be the Americans when they say India is overrun by cows. And that is American lie number 3. The Western media even calls it the stray cows problem. Listen, it's no secret that cows are seen as a sacred symbol of many things, and that is so deeply rooted in the Hindu tradition. But it's actually rare to see them. I mean, you probably have to go literally into the outskirts of like a tier 2 or tier 3 city to finally see the holy cows. Street food sanitation problem. That's another fancy American media term for India. They say a taste of whatever in India will send you straight to the hospital or worse, directly into the next reincarnation. But after coming to India and staying for so many weeks, eating all the best India has to offer, I gotta say that, okay, it's actually true. I already went to the hospital 3 times, but I'm sure that's my issue, bro. Also, did you ever notice how those foreigners, like tourist people, would always go straight to the street food that not even the locals would want to try? Like, one of my Indian friends came to me like, those foreigners are weird, man. Why are they eating at all the worst places in town instead of going to, like, you know, an actual restaurant? But nothing will be more insane than the biggest lie Americans still say about India. And that is all Indians look down on any profession that is not a doctor and engineer. And there's almost a universal disrespect for other professions. People only want engineers and doctors, they say. Working at McDonald's will only bring shame to your family because your cousins Ania and Nishan over there work at Google compared to you. And y'all work at McDonald's. No, son. Job titles also heavily affect your possibility of finding love and having a family. As my Indian friend in the village was told by his mom that if you have a government job, like at the Indian Railway, girls from the village would want to marry you, okay? But the biggest thing I learned in India is that a job is a job. There ain't no big and small jobs. They're equal, man. My Indian friends don't treat others differently based on their profession. Those engineers and people working at high-paying, like international IT companies, also don't make fun of me because my job is to help stray animals. Even though some Indians still perceive domestic workers, like security guards and maids, to be inferior, but that is not as common in the young generation. I think it's one thing for America to refuse to learn about India, but it's another thing if they continue to spread lies about India. Just imagine that out of all the comments criticizing India on social media, how many of them actually visited India for once? But that is why in this video, I want to find out why Indians are getting so much hate in America. Because it's getting out of control at this point. Is India wrong? Is America wrong? Or perhaps it's even worse than that? But you will have to click on the video to find out.